7, Unit 2, Solving Lesson 6. Solving two-step equation examples. So remember the foundation stones of solving. The most important thing here is that you do it to both sides. Now you want to make zeros and ones. You make zeros when you're dealing with addition, and you make ones when you're dealing with multiplication or division. And the reason you do that is because it creates do-nothings. So over here I've got a quick example. 2x plus 3 equals 11. We want to change this so that the 2 is replaced with a 1, and the 3 is replaced with a 0. You do need to have an idea of what order you want to do this problem in. The way we generally do it, we're going to get rid of the added or subtracted thing, and then we'll get rid of the multiplied or divided thing. So it might help for you to understand, if I circle this x, that is what I need to get by itself. I need to get rid of the 2, and I need to get rid of the 3. I'm going to get rid of the thing that's easiest to get rid of first, and that would be the 3. I get rid of the 3 with a negative 3. I'm trying to create a 0 here. This gives me 0. I'm left with 2x. Nothing changed about that. It just comes straight down. And 11 minus 3 is 8. Then I'm going to recreate the 2 to a 1. I need to do that by division. It is multiplication. I can use division to undo it, if you think of your working backwards methods. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I do get an answer of x equals 4. If I just checked that real quick, I've got 2 times x plus 3 equals 11. And I'm going to replace the x with a 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. That checks out just fine. Solve negative 3x plus 5 equals 2. Check your solution. All right, on this one, we're going to want to get rid of the plus 5. You do that with a negative 5. We need to do it on both sides. This gives me 0, and negative 3x doesn't change. I'm just going to bring it down. And 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Now, a very common mistake students might make here is to miss that negative when they copy it down. It is part of the term. It is a negative 3x. Then we need to get rid of the negative 3. Because it's dealing with multiplication, we'll use multiplication or division to get rid of it. Here we can divide by negative 3 on both sides. This reduces to 1, and this also reduces to 1. So x equals 1 is our solution. Next, we're going to want to double check the answer real quick. The original equation, negative 3x plus 5 equals 2. And in place of the x, I'm going to put 1. So this is negative 3 plus 5 equals 2. That's actually true. So it's properly checked. Okay, solve the equation, check your solution. 2x plus 12 equals 4. On this, we need to get we're trying to get the x by itself, so we need to get rid of the 12. You can do that with a negative 12. This is 0. So 2x is all that's left on this side. 4 minus 12 is negative 8. Now we need to get rid of the 2. We do that with division. We're going to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 1x equals negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. We get x equals negative 4 as our solution. Then we can go ahead and check our solution. 2 times x plus 12 equals 4. We're going to plug in negative 4 for x because that's the answer we got. So this is negative 8 plus 12 equals 4. And that does check out. Our solution is correct. Okay, negative 5c plus 9 equals negative 16. We're trying to get the c by itself. So we'll first get rid of the 9 by using a negative 9. This gives us negative 5c equals negative 16 and negative 9. They're both negative, so we add them together. We get negative 25. Next, we need to get rid of the negative 5. We're going to do that using division. Divide by negative 5 on both sides. And this gives us 1c. And negative 5 divided by 5. Negative divided negative is positive. 25 divided by 5 is 5. We get c equals 5 as our answer. Now, checking solution, we're going to do negative 5 times c plus 9 equals 16, negative 16. We're going to plug in 5 because that's what we got as our answer. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Negative 25 plus 9 equals negative 16. That does check out, and it is true. So that is the solution. Okay, next, another example. This one does have a lot of fractions in it, so I want to give you a, we'll do it the normal way, and then we'll try it another way. The normal way, we are trying to get x by itself. We need to get rid of the negative 1/2. We're going to use a positive 1/2 on both sides to do that. That's now gone. It's 0. I copy down the x divided by 8, and it equals negative 7/2 plus 1/2. There is a common denominator of 2. Negative 7 plus 1 is negative 6, which, by the way, that actually just equals negative 3. So x over 8 is just equal to negative 3. Next, we multiply both sides by 8 to get rid of the dividing by 8 there. That's 1. 1x equals negative 24. And then when we check our solution here, negative 24 divided by 8 minus 1/2 equals negative 7/2. This can actually reduce quite nicely to negative 3. Negative 3 minus 1/2 is negative 7/2, negative 3.5. That actually does check out, and it is correct. Now, I mentioned another strategy that can be used here. When you have a lot of fractions, if you can find the common denominator of those fractions and multiply both sides by that common denominator, it will actually get rid of the fractions for you. Now, the common denominator between 2 and 8 would be 8. So here is the trick. If I multiply both sides by 8 and do it correctly, you need to multiply by 8 everywhere, then it will get rid of the fractions for me. 8 times x over 8 is 8x over 8, which is just x. 8 times negative 1/2 is negative 8/2, that's negative 4. 8 times negative 7/2 is negative 56/2, which reduces to negative, oh, why can't I think right now? Negative 28. Okay, so we get x minus 4 equals negative 28. We go ahead and add the 4 to both sides to get a 0 here. And x equals negative 24. We do get the exact same answer. So this is a trick that sometimes will be helpful. If you multiply both sides by the common denominator, it will get rid of the fractions. Okay, solve the equation, check your solution. M divided by 2 plus 6 equals 10. We're going to get rid of the plus 6 using a minus 6. That gives us our 0. So m divided by 2 will equal 4. We get rid of the divide 2 with a multiply 2. That gives us 1m equals 8. And if we check our solution here, 8 divided by 2 plus 6 equals 10. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 plus 6 equals 10 is true. Next example, the opposite of z divided by 3 plus 5 equals 9. We're going to get rid of the plus 5 with a minus 5. That gives us 0. Negative z divided by 3 equals 4. We're going to multiply by negative 3. The negative to get rid of that negative, and the 3 to get rid of the 3 on bottom. And that does give us 1z. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So we get an answer z equals negative 12. Checking the solution, negative 12 over 3 plus 5 is going to equal 9. This is 12/3. That's 4 plus 5 equals 9. That's true. Next example, we're trying to get a by itself here, so let's get rid of the 2/5. We'll do that with a negative 2/5. That makes 0. And then 4a will equal 6/5 minus 2/5. Well, these are both negative. Negative 6 and negative 2 make negative 8/5. And then I need to divide by 4. I'm going to have to be careful here. When you take a fraction and divide a fraction, Actually, because I'm dealing with fractions, I don't think I want to use division. I want to use multiplication instead. You get rid of a 4 by multiplying by 1/4. And that gives A equals -8/5 times 1/4. That's going to reduce to -2/5. So A equals -2/5. Now checking the solution, 2/5 plus 4 times -2/5 equals -6/5. So this is 2/5 minus 8/5 equals -6/5. Well, 2 minus 8 is -6. They're all common denominators, so that does check out. That is the correct solution. Here's another one, 3 times x minus 4. This actually is a 3-step equation rather than just 2, but it does lead into our next lesson. We're going to want to multiply the 3 times the x and the 3 times the -4 to get -12. Once we distribute that, we can just solve this like normal. We get rid of a -12 with a +12 on both sides. That's 3x equals 21. Then we're going to get rid of the times 3 with a divide 3. That will give us the 1 we need. 21 divided by 3 is 7. We do get x equals 7 as our solution. We're going to double check the answer here. We're going to do 3 times x minus 4 and make sure it equals 9. And x is 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. So does 3 times 3 equal 9? It sure does. That checks out just fine. The height at the top of a roller coaster hill is 10 times the height h at the starting point. The height decreases 100 feet from the top of to the bottom of the hill. The height at the bottom of the hill is -10 feet. It looks like it goes below ground. Find h. All right. This is kind of a number line type problem. To show you what I mean, let me reference a number line. We start at 10 times h, and then we are going to go past 0 to -10. That is subtraction. So we start at 10h, we go down 100, and we end up at -10. This actually is the equation we're going to solve. We start at 10h, we go down 100, make it to -10. So in solving for h here, I need to add 100 to both sides. And that gives me 0 here. So 10h will equal 90. I can divide by the 10 here. And it says that h equals 9. It asks us to find h. H is 9. So the coaster starts at 9 feet above ground. It's probably a little platform you climb on to get seated into your seat before you go on the roller coaster. But there you go, that one's solved. Now in the assignment, number 1, you're going to solve each equation and check your solution. Let's take a look at C. 17 equals 5k minus 2. We are trying to get the k by itself, so let's get rid of the -2. We're going to add 2 to both sides. That will give us a 0 here. 17 plus 2 is 19. 19 equals 5k. Then we're going to get rid of the 5 using division. We'll divide both sides by 5. And this gives us k equals 19/5. That is our answer. Now we do need to check our solution. I've kind of taken up quite a bit of room with this, so I need to try to get it to shrink down in size. Let me see here. Okay, so we do get k equals 19/5. Actually, I kind of want to do that as a decimal. That would be 3.8. So let me replace that with k equals 3.8. And that will be the answer I report. So 17 equals 5 times 3.8 minus 2. Well, 5 times 3.8 is 19. 19 minus 2 is 17. The answer does check out there. Okay. Number 2, you're going to, for each equation, write an equation, then solve. I do want you to answer with a complete sentence again. I'll leave both of those up to you. Number 3, you're going to solve this. Since it's got fractions, you'll want to use multiplication. Number 4, find the area of a square. Number 5, add two fractions. Number 6, you're going to practice simplifying, and that's actually to lead into tomorrow's lesson. Number 7, you need to you're going to solve a problem by working backward, and then you're going to solve an equation in part B that relates to it. Number 8, missing information. Consider each situation problem below that might have missing information. Tell what information you need to solve the problem. If there is enough information, go ahead and solve it. So a taxi service charges an initial fee plus $4 plus a fee of let me start over. A taxi service charges an initial fee of $4 plus a fee rate per mile. How far can you travel for $15? All right, so we've got $15. We got to pay the $4. That leaves us $11 for the fee per mile, but we don't know what the fee per mile is. So we need to actually tell. We don't know the fee per mile. And in order to solve this, we would have to know what the fee per mile is.